Once upon a time, there was a lazy man who lived in a village. He never wanted to work hard and always found ways to get what he wanted without putting in any effort. He would often wander around the countryside looking for ways to get food without having to work for it. One morning, the lazy man came across an apple tree and decided to steal some apples to eat. But as soon as he tried to pick an apple, a farmer saw him and started coming towards him. The lazy man got scared and ran into the nearby forest to hide. As he was walking through the forest, he stumbled upon an old wolf with only 2 legs. The man wondered how the wolf was surviving with only 2 legs. The wolf couldn't run or feed itself, and there were threats from other animals, but it was happily crawling around. Suddenly, the man saw a lion coming towards the wolf with a piece of meat in its mouth. The lazy man climbed up a nearby tree to save himself, but the wolf stayed put because it could not run away. The man couldn't believe his eyes as the lion left the piece of meat for the wolf to eat. It was a sign from God. The lazy man felt happy seeing God's play and started to think that God always has a plan set to take care of his creations. He began to believe that God must have something planned for him too. He left the forest to find a place to sit and wait for someone to feed him. He waited and waited and waited there for 2 days without any food. Finally, he couldn't bear the hunger anymore and left to continue wandering. On his journey, he met an old sage and told him everything that had happened in the forest. He also asked the sage why God had shown mercy to the crippled wolf, but not to him. The old sage answered, "It's true that God has a plan for everyone. You are obviously a part of his plan, but son, you took his signs in your own way. He didn't want you to be like the wolf, helpless and dependent. He wanted you to be like the lion, strong and independent." The lazy man was confused. He didn't understand what the old sage meant. The sage continued, "Sometimes in life, we can misread God's signs for us and take them in the wrong way. But don't despair. Maybe contemplate about your life so far and think about what God's signs you have possibly misread in your life." The lazy man listened carefully to the old sage's words and thought deeply about his life. He realized that he had been misreading God's signs all along. He had been taking the easy way out, relying on others to provide for him, and not taking responsibility for his own life. The old sage's words made the lazy man realize that he had been living his life in the wrong way. He decided to change his ways and start taking responsibility for his own life. He began to work hard and put in the effort to achieve his goals. Years went by, and the lazy man had transformed into a hardworking, successful person. He had a beautiful family, a thriving business, and a fulfilling life. He often thought back to the day he met the old sage and realized that it was a turning point in his life. The lazy man realized that God had a plan for him all along. It was a plan that required him to work hard, take responsibility, and never give up. He had misread God's signs before, but now he was on the right path, and his life was a testament to that. In conclusion, the story of the lazy man and the wolf is a powerful reminder that God has a plan for each and every one of us. Sometimes, we might misread God. Thank you. Please subscribe.